Welcome to another Flaming Dice Reviews video. My name is Matt, and today we're going to be taking a look at a little card game that came out a couple of years ago, but that doesn't get a whole lot of attention. And that is Shadows over Camelot, the card game. Now, this game is based off of the full-size Shadows over Camelot board game, which most people know as having a possible traitor mechanic, and Shadows over Camelot, the card game, is no different. Again, I have never heard that much about the game until I played it, honestly, here just recently. And we had an absolutely wonderful time playing it. And I have to give a shout out to the Jester's Court, the friendly local gaming store where I do most of my gaming. The owners there, Trudy and Sean, are absolutely fantastic. And they actually let me borrow this game to review it. There should be a link down below and on screen for their website. If you're ever in the western Colorado, specifically Grand Junction area, you should definitely check it out. It's the best gaming store I have ever been to, and I can say that honestly. Anyway, let's take a look at the game, and then I'll meet you back here for my final thoughts. Now, inside of Shadows over Camelot, the card game is, of course, the instruction booklet, some tokens so that you can remember which quest scored you want, and so that you can assign certain tokens to certain character cards, and they give you bonuses should certain things occur. You have your loyalty cards, so you have your loyal Knights of the Round Table, as well as your traitor cards. You have these really cool double-sided sword cards for scoring. You have your quest cards, this is called a rumors deck, and the point of the game is to listen to these rumors, and they have different quests. Like that will be the Pix, and that'll be the Slay the Dragon quest. There's several others, and you have to listen to these rumors and go on quests at appropriate times. There's also these Knights cards for advanced play. I'm not going to go into those today. We're just going to talk about the base game. So let's talk about the point of the game and how you play it. It should be noted that Shadows over Camelot is a game with a possible traitor, but not necessarily. So, as an example, in a 4-player game, you would take 4 Loyal Knights cards and 1 traitor card. You would shuffle them up and randomly deal 1 to each player. Now, it could turn out that you get 4. Oh, there he is. Could turn out that you get 4 Loyal Knights, or you could get a traitor. The other loyalty cards that aren't used stay in the middle of the table of the playing area, because there are cards that allow you to change your loyalty. So let's take a look at the actions that a player can take on his or her turn. Anyone familiar with Shadows over Camelot, the board game, should recognize the 5 possible quests that are inside of the rumor deck. And most of the gameplay revolves around these cards. So starting at the bottom right, that will be quest to fight the Picts. Going counterclockwise, we have the quest to fight the Saxons, quest to find Excalibur, the quest to find the Holy Grail, and then to slay the dragon. And to the right, you'll see a certain number of swords, and that's how many points the quest is worth. Now, these sword tokens, as we mentioned earlier, are double-sided. For example, if the loyal members successfully complete the quest to find Excalibur, they would get 2 white swords. If the traitors manage to mess with and put wrong information in the loyal members' heads, and the quest for Excalibur fails, then the traitors get 2 black swords. And the first team to 7 swords, black or white, ends the game, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that team wins the game. It just ends the game and you go to scoring. We're not going to get into all of that. Let's take a look at the rumor deck and again the actions. Actually, let's talk about the actions now. The players can use the rumor deck to listen to rumors, and you just simply flip over the top rumor card from the deck. We're going to take a look at that in depth here in just a moment. As a second available action, a player can make an accusation against another player, at which point that player has to reveal their loyalty card. And each player can only make an accusation once per game. The third action that a player can take is to go on a quest, and that again involves the rumor deck. So let's take a look at how the rumor deck works and how a player goes on a quest. Now, by far the most common action that a player is going to take is listening to rumors. And each player does that once per turn. Again, they can make an accusation or go on a quest, but again, by far the most common is going to be listening to rumors. And rumor cards look like this. Now, this is a Holy Grail card. And the makeup of this card is the number of points scored, and that's denoted by swords. And then also the number that's in the top left and bottom right. And in this case, it's a 3. Now, players score points by going on quests at the right times. There's actually negative penalties for going too early or going too late. Now, the first player chose to listen to rumors and flipped over this Holy Grail card. And we had a score of 3. Now, the cool thing is when the next player goes, they flip over a rumor card and cover up the previous. You're not allowed to go back and look. You have to remember what these totals are. And in order for the loyal members to score points for going on quests, they have to total 11, 12, or 13 for the number for the quest that you're going on for the main quest. You also have negative penalties for your secondary quest, and I'll show you what that's going to be here in just a moment. Now, question marks are something special. Question marks are equal to the number of question marks that are in the deck so far, or that are in the rumor pile so far. So this Grail card is worth 1. Now, we're going to cheat and take a peek. We had a 3 previously for the Grail, and now we have a question mark. Since there's only one Grail question mark in the pile, it's worth 1. If we get another Grail question mark, each one of the question marks will be worth 2. So let's continue to listen to rumors. The next player listens to a rumor. We get a question mark for Excalibur. The next player goes. We get a question mark for the Saxons. The next player goes. Uh-oh. We've got a 5 for the Grail. Now, again, we're trying to catch this quest when it's at 11, 12, or 13. And if memory serves, we have a 5, a 3, and a question mark. That would be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points. If a player chooses to go on a quest now, not only will he cost us a black sword for going on the quest prematurely, he'll also probably be accused of being a traitor and sabotaging the quest. So we're going to say that the next player just keeps going and listens to rumors. So we get a 5 Excalibur. Next player goes, we get a 2 Slay the Dragon. Next player goes, we get a 4 Slay the Dragon. Now, hopefully, players at the table are maybe delegating who's keeping track of what, like keeping track of the dragon. Like, honestly, I have no idea. For the purposes of this video, I'm keeping track in my head of the Grail, not so much the others. And that's where traders can really sabotage the game, is by saying, oh yeah, there's 12 of this quest, we need to go on it. They can lead you astray and score points for the traders. So the next player goes, and we get a 5 for the picks. And then the next player goes, and they get another Grail rumor. Now, that player has used their action to reveal a rumor. So hopefully the next player at this point would say, hey, I think we have enough Grail points to go on a quest. So let's take a look at what would happen if that next player chooses to go on a quest to find the Grail at this time. So as I mentioned earlier, quests are scored not only the primary quest, the one that triggers the quest, but all other quests. So for the purposes of this example, we're going to look primarily at the Grail and then also at the secondary quest. So we're going to add these up. We've got one Grail question mark. We've got one picked for points, or for a total of 5. We have a dragon for a total of 4. We have a dragon for a total of 2. And we only get scored for the secondary quest if they go over 13, if they go to 14, which so far nothing has. We have a 5 Excalibur. We have a 5 Grail. And again, this is our primary quest. We have a question mark Saxon. We have a question mark Excalibur. We have a question mark Grail and a 3 Grail. So if we add these up, none of the others equal 14 or more, so they were all success. They didn't score against the loyal members of the round table. So let's take a look at the Grail cards. We have 2 question mark scores for Grail, a 5 and a 3. Now the 5 and the 3, that's going to add up to 8, and then each question mark is going to be worth the number of question marks. So since we have 2 question marks, they're worth 2 each. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That is in fact 11, 12, or 13. The loyalists score 3 white swords for the point value of the Grail quest. And play continues in this matter. There is one more thing that can really throw a kink in the game. We're going to take a look at that next. So we've taken a pretty good look at the rumor deck and how important the rumor deck is. In fact, it's central to gameplay. But other than the everyday cards that are used in the rumor deck, like the quest to slay the dragon and the quest to fight the Saxons, there's also special cards that don't get put into the rumor deck pile as it's building, and those are character cards. So you might get Morgan Le Fay, and Morgan, on top of doing these really nasty things, changing the number that are the numbers that make quests success or succeed or fail, she also makes it to where people can't communicate at the table. That is such a game changer. If you've trusted someone to count up the number of Saxon cards, for example, and a Morgan card shows up, you can no longer communicate at the table. You can't talk, you can't do hand gestures, you can't do nothing. No communication whatsoever. So Morgan can really put a stick in the spokes. And in fact, you can't speak until a Merlin card comes up or till someone goes on a quest. And Merlin makes it easier for the loyalists to succeed in a quest. There's also Mordred, who makes the Pict and Saxon quest, changes the dynamics of those quests. And there's Vivian, who allows players to change their loyalty if they wish. So these character cards, they stay beside the rumor deck as it's developing. So you can always see, and each one overrides the last, so you can always see what it is. So for example, we would keep going with the rumor deck here. And Vivian was the last card, so everyone can talk and everything is hunky-dory at this time. And of course, now that we need it to, oh, there we go. Morgan shows up. Now we can no longer talk again. So this just adds a whole nother dynamic to the gameplay. I absolutely love it. I think it's brilliant. If you couldn't talk in the Resistance, it would be, it would be chaos, and it is in this game. Welcome back, everybody. Now that we've seen what comes inside of Shadows over Camelot, the card game, and seen how it plays, let's talk about my final thoughts. I was so pleasantly surprised with Shadows over Camelot, the card game. I had played the board game, and though I liked it, I actually didn't like it as much as I liked Shadows over Camelot, the card game. Now, Anybody who's watched a lot of my videos knows that The Resistance is my absolute favorite board game of all time, hands down. And Shadows over Camelot reminded me a lot of that game, but it actually did eliminate some of the problems with The Resistance. And I'll get to that in just a moment. Now, what are the things that I liked about this game? I like that there's a possible traitor element. You never know if everyone is loyal or if there's going to be a traitor. I like that there is a possibility. It really makes you paranoid, and I enjoy that. I like it that in this game, accusations are a formal affair, and that accusations actually matter. If you accuse somebody, and you can only do it once in a game, you can only make one accusation. But if you accuse someone, they have to flip over their loyalty card. And if you were right and they were a traitor, then the good side gets more points. If you were wrong, the bad side wins more points. If you are the traitor, like I was the very last game I played, we were down by 1 point. We only lacked 1 point from winning. And I just made an accusation against someone I knew was loyal. Since they were loyal, I got the point, and the traitors ended up winning. I also like that the traitors, it's impossible to alienate them. They get a turn no matter what. In The Resistance, if someone misspeaks or through process of elimination, you figure out who the traitors are, who the spies are. You can just alienate them by voting down any mission they suggest or any mission that they're on. In this game, it is impossible to alienate. The traitors can still accuse, they can still go on quest and mess up, just gum up the works. I like that. I also like that you can change your loyalty. So if you are a traitor and someone has found you out, and you get the card that lets you change your loyalty, you actually can, and you can be back on the good team. I think that's pretty cool, and vice versa. I also like that setup is extremely easy. Again, anyone who's watched my videos know that I like small games that are easy to set up, and this is one of those. If there's anything that I don't like about Shadows over Camelot, the card game, is that there is a lot of memory involved with the quest and the numbers that are shown or that pop up that correlate with the different quests, the Picts and the Saxons and slaying the dragon and Excalibur, and I'm no good at it. I was really, really horrible at remembering which quest had how many points in it. I was no good at all. But I did have a lot of fun being the traitor. Which brings me up to the last point about the game. And again, I'm going to make another reference to The Resistance, just because I'm so familiar with it, and I think a lot of people are. In The Resistance, it's super easy, or way easier to be the spy than it is to be loyal. At least I think it is. And in this game, it was way harder to be a traitor than it was to be loyal. Maybe that was just personal opinion, or maybe it was just because I had such a hard time keeping track of all the quests that I never knew quite when to sabotage it whenever I was the traitor. So it was more just trying to blend in, and usually when I was the traitor I would blend in too well, and the loyalist would end up winning, and they'd say, "Who was a traitor?" "Oh, Matt was." And then I would just say, "Yeah, I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember how many points were in the Pict quest or how many were in the Dragon quest." So I was just laying low and biding my time, and I bided a little too well, and the game ended. So I really found it challenging to be the traitor, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Now, I ran Shadows over Camelot, the card game, through the Flaming Dice Review's scoring system, which scores a game based on 8 categories, including fun, replayability, setup, accessibility, artwork, component quality, and Shadows over Camelot, the card game, got an 87 out of 100, 85 out of 100 being your run-of-the-mill good game. So this is a above-average game. I really enjoyed it, and I think if you liked games like The Resistance, like Werewolf, anything with a hidden role, bluffing game, I think you would really like this. This game didn't get a whole lot of attention, I feel like, but it should have. It was a great game. I will definitely be buying it. And thanks again to the Jester's Court. Again, the address should be right here below, for letting me borrow this and review it, and for letting me play it there this past week so many times. Anyway, if you like this video, please be sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and visit the website at www.flamingdicereviews.com. I sure hope to see you there, and thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.